Alright. How are we gonna start this? Oh!
Kumusta po kayo? Welcome to the video.
Okay, so welcome back to our channel. But before that, I would like to thank Kakintuhan Vlog, Official Wong TV, and Love TV channel in Australia. So thank you. And here, we're back. Thank you for all the support. And
okay, so we're going to talk about that process today. It's an intimidating process, actually. So the first couple of steps that you need to do is determine what form you need to do. So if you are thinking about getting married, but you're not quite there, you haven't tied the knot, you haven't gone through the process of solemnization, you will veer towards the form I-129F. That's a fiancé visa. It actually is a little faster processing times than there is I-130. I-129, I-130 are very similar as far as the information that it requires, and it is lengthy. So create your account online. If you just type in I-130, it'll pop up with the downloadable form as well as the downloadable instructions. Now, download the instructions and the form and read the instructions first. There are several steps in the process, and if you don't know what goes on a block or you put the wrong thing, it will not get processed. It will slow everything down, and you'll have a back and forth, and you'll have a terrible, rough time. Download the printable form, the PDF, fill it out and save it, and then whenever you go to file online, it is a simple copy and paste from the downloadable PDF that you filled everything out. And so it's one quick motion.
it was different from what we did before that they timed it.
No, that's the online filing of tourist visa.
Oh, the tour, okay, never mind.
Yeah, not tourism stuff. You're past that.
Yeah.
Okay, so first step is to download that PDF form, fill it out. It's going to take you quite a bit of length of time. Make sure that you save it. One of the things while you're doing that, gather pictures, because you're going to need important documents being your marriage license, your divorce certificates if you've been married before and have been divorced. You need to make sure you have copies of those, electronic copies, if you're going to be filing online, paper of course, if you're going to be sending it in for a 129F. Proof that you've been together at least once. I don't think they care about more than once, as long as it's, but it doesn't have to be anything intimate, and I'll say it in there as well. You don't need pictures of you two in bed. That's not a thing. Just pictures of that you've been together in the same place at the same time.
And as much as possible, if they will have the dates on those pictures.
Or you pull up the picture, or Google Photos, you can see when the date and time that it was taken. Yeah. So I made sure that I kept copies of that. At the same time, I put on the dates of travel that we were together. Mm-hmm. And that way the pictures correlated with the dates of travel, and the time frames and the locations that we were at. And remove any kind of question about how many times we've been together, and the proof of our valid relationship. Because that's the only thing they care about.
Even the financial.
I did financial record as well, because I did send quite a bit of money to help support, as well as pay for the marriage license and everything. So I included receipts and bank statements for almost 2 years worth of transactions.
Anything that can prove about the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Put as much as you can in there, much as it'll let you, and it'll have a lot of room for it. It's under the extra documents. So once you've gathered all that stuff, all that information, put it in a single folder so that way it's easy to upload. And then once you start filling out online, so on the required documents, it's going to have your marriage license or divorce decree, along with that 130 or that form page that you pulled up. There are several drop downs with frequent asked questions, like what is the filing fee? Each form has a filing fee. Both the I-129F and the I-130 are the same. It's $535 before you can even submit. You can do electronic payment, or you can do by check. If you do by check, it goes, or cashier's check, and it goes with your mailed-in application. And then the next question is typically processing times. Now there's several processing centers, and you cannot choose a processing center, but each processing center has different average timelines on which processing finishes from stop to start. Unfortunately, you cannot choose your processing center to try to expedite your stuff. it goes to a central processing plant, and then it is from there sent to whichever one has the balance, basically, to balance the workload across all the processing centers. And then there's one other factor that takes into account is your city that you live in. So for me, I was living in Oklahoma City. The processing center was Nebraska. So I really didn't have a choice. And one way you can tell on which processing center is that your form went to is your receipt numbers. Once you get your receipt number, there's three number, or sorry, it's a long, like 12-digit number.
Wait.
Number, letter, combo.
You send the physical copies to?
No.
No.
Nope.
So just in the.
I only send online. So if you're sending an I-129F, it has to be through the mail. If you send an I-130, you can do either mail or online. I suggest online. It is done a lot faster and still get the receipt in time. But if you choose one, don't do the other one at the same time. Don't send an electronic copy and a mail-in copy. You're gonna have duplicates and you're gonna delay processing. So only one form. But you'll get your receipt number. After you send it in, it took about 30 days for them to send a receipt number saying, we received your case, here's your receipt number, this is how you're going to track your status. The first 3 letters will tell you what that processing plant is, or what processing center is. Like mine was IOE, and that told me it was Nebraska Online.
IOE?
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean?
So
it's the name of the form?
No.
No.
Well, it's the first digit of the form is I. Yeah. And an online electronic, I don't know, maybe. Could be, no, I don't know. I don't know that much about it. But 2 websites that were helped a lot is travel.gov and Rapid Visa. But Google's your friend here, so is travel.state.gov. They have a lot of the processing steps and timelines located inside there. So please use that and research.
Google helps a lot.
Yep. So you submitted it, paid your $535, submitted online. 30 days later, you got your receipt number, and from that point, you have to sit back and wait. It's kind of like ordering a package from Amazon. You get really anxious, but the best thing to do is try to forget about it. Just check up on it once every 30 days.
And you'll receive an email.
You receive email and written copies. So whenever you create your file or create your account online with your address, phone number, and email, you can select how you want to be notified. I selected all of the above.
Yeah, I also receive email from it.
Check it regularly, but I'd say once every 30 days because it is a lot to go through. So it doesn't update when you want it to. They update whenever they're ready. But there's two separate organizations for the entire visa process. So you start the USCIS case. That took about 6 months for it to process. I sent it in November. I got confirmation in December that it was there, and I got a receipt number. And then I believe it was April.
You sent it November, and you got confirmation by December.
I got confirmation that they received it in December.
Yeah, so
that's when I received. Yep, it took about 30 days for me to get the receipt number.
To get the receipt number, 1 month.
Yep, so 30 days for your receipt number approximately, and then about 6 months from then. So it was about June or July that I got a notification that USCIS was done, and they had forwarded my package to, or forwarded our case to the National Visa Center, the NVC. Something that you can do or that you can request is expedited processing anytime during the process. For us, I thought it warranted. However, they did not think it was warranted. So the USCIS portion was not expedited, but once it was sent to the National Visa Center, I again requested for expedited, and they accepted our case and expedited, and and it was done within 30 days.
So the first two requests that you did was
USCIS.
USCIS.
They basically denied it, unfortunately. So we waited. 6 months went by. They finished with it, sent it to the National Visa Center, and then they processed it. Travel.state.gov is your friend. I'm going to put this link in the description. It has a 12-step process on what happens once it goes to the NVC. Once they accept it, you will have to pay another set of fees. This one was $325 this is the process, your DS-260. So the DS-260 is similar to a DS-160. So the DS-160 is a tourist visa. Now, while you're in the process of waiting for all this to go through, you cannot submit a tourist visa. It's not going to happen.
No.
You just have to sit back and wait. It will be denied.
Yeah.
Okay?
I got denied when they processed my tourist visa. It's because he said the predicament that I'm in. So,
Yep.
but what's the visa they should process if you're already married? Is it the K3?
So it's a K3 visa. K3 visa is doing both you have to do both forms basically. So you submit your I-130, and while it's processing, if you would like to visit, if this foreign spouse would like to visit the States, you can submit a 129F, which I know that's the same form as the fiancé visa. However, one of the first blocks it checks says, this is a fiancé visa, or is this a K3? It is. It's more money. Or is it a K3? So it's K3 means your spouse is visiting basically.
Waiting for the spouse visa.
Unfortunately, I did not submit mine right at the same time as I submitted the 130, so it was.
I think we found it later.
Yeah,
We can.
kind of way too late in the process.
Yeah.
So by the time it was accepted, the I-130 was already being processed through.
Yeah.
All right, so goes in NV's fee for processing. You pay another fee for your DS-260. There are two separate fees: $120 for the petitioner, which would be the U.S. citizen, and then an additional $325 for the beneficiary, which is your foreign spouse. Very similar. It's almost like repeating the 130 process. A lot of very similar documents. Just hold on to those same ones and file the same way, except it's through the NVC website. So I really like travel.state.gov's depiction of this and walking through the process. It'll actually help you a lot and help calm you down and know what's coming up next, as well as who's responsible for what step. So there's portions that it's the petitioner only, there's portions where it's both, and there's portions of it that is the beneficiary only. I took care of almost all of it. I just made sure I gathered those documents from her and had her send them to me. There was a couple things you had to do. You had to go downtown and get a notary on one of the documents, as well as the
everything. So for all the, like in Filipinos who are in Japan, we will need what was this? The police clearance from Tokyo. Their national police station. Something I forget the name, but yeah, you have to get a clearance from there. And then I think
that works for any country.
Also the NBI as well, National Bureau of Investigation from the Philippines as well.
Yep. So as a Filipino, you have to get clearance.
Yeah.
Well, not just Filipino, from the overseas beneficiary. You have to get your host country and your citizenship country.
Yes.
You have to get police records from both of those. Yep, and they have to be duly authenticated.
Yeah. So in my case, I'm a permanent here in Japan. Meaning I'm a resident here, so they need my police clearance here, and they also need my National Bureau of Investigation record in the Philippines, NBI. Meaning they need to make sure that we're not criminals. Your spouse is not a criminal. There's no record, clean record.
And the last piece, which kind of ties into both of these, is a medical examination. So here's a couple things that you need to know about that. Both all three of these, the local, so the host nation criminal record, the citizenship criminal record, and the medical examination cannot be done early. Do not lean forward. Do not think you're going to get a step ahead of the system, because it has to be done within a certain time frame.
Yes.
So only do it whenever the NVC tells you to do it.
Yes.
It'll tell you step by step, like it'll say, okay, you're at this point, you submitted it, now wait. And it'll say, all right, now you need to do you need to submit this form with this fee.
Yeah. So I received the email that they already, I have the schedule for interview in the embassy, American embassy here. So that's the time that I have to gather all those documents, the police clearance, medical.
It helps to have somebody in your citizenship country to help you out with getting those documents. Some places you can't do it online; you have to be in person to do it. So if you have family there, get in good contact with them. Otherwise, you might be flying back and forth.
So what I remember with my NBI here, I did the initial fingerprinting in the Philippine embassy here, and then I got the copy. I sent it in the Philippines. I did not, because you can choose if they will process it in your behalf or you can do it by yourself. So I chose to send it to my family, and I let my family to take care of it for me. So that's what I did. Just a lot of signature, copy of IDs that you have to put or to include in that envelope that you will send to your family for your NBI clearance after the fingerprint, everything. That's what I remember that I did.
During the entire process, when you log into USCIS, it can show you what step your case is at, as well as if they've sent any kind of notices. So they will send the receipt of notice, and then they'll also post it on there saying that they received it and sent something out via mail. One thing additionally in there, if you change your address during any time in the process after you've submitted and before you received your final card or final something, your final decision from them, you will need to submit it online. So there's another form in there. They put it all over the place on the website. It's actually pretty easy to find. So make sure that you update your address regularly. Make sure they have the right form, Make sure they have the right, make sure they have the right address, phone number, and email for you.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the process.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, it's intimidating at first, but I guarantee you can do it without somebody else. You can have somebody help you do it. Maybe if you can't read English very well, you can have a...
It's challenging. Actually, there are agencies that will offer you to help process the visa. I don't know if I'll advise you to do it, but if you don't have enough time, you're too busy, and you have a lot of money to pay for those agency, go on.
Yep. It's a lot less headache if you do it that way. Somebody can do it for you.
But I also, because I have a friend that she relied to those agency. She got denied. So she paid for the agency, they paid for whatever they have to pay for the visa processing, so it doubled the expenses.
Oh yeah.
More.
If it gets denied, by the way, you don't get your money back, because that money is for processing, and they basically looked at your case and said it doesn't have a good valid argument, or there's something wrong, and you get denied, and they keep all that money. So it's a big venture to go into. And if you're going to go through a company, try to vet them, look up their status and their wins and what they guarantee you. Maybe if you could get something in writing saying that if they get denied, or if you get denied and it's their fault, you get their money back, because it can be quite expensive. Even without going through an agency, we spent over $1,000 getting the process done.
Yeah, without the agency. But I advise to do it by yourself, because if everything is about whatever you're filing in there, information are true, everything, you have nothing to worry about, nothing to be scared of. So just do it by yourself.
All right. Thanks for making it this far in the video. Hopefully it helps out a little bit, and we will look forward to. If you have any questions, let us know. How about that? Hit us up in the chat. Hit us up. You can either type a message in the bottom of the video or send us an email.
Yeah. Most of the people that reach us out, they they go to our Facebook page, Jam in Mabelli, and because I put the contact numbers there directly to our WhatsApp, our business information there. So I received some messages in WhatsApp and also in Messenger, Facebook Messenger. So either way, we will receive it as soon as we find time to reply. I reply, he replies. So yeah, see you on our next video.